This is Group Venus Express.
I'm Cadet McGee.
I'm Cadet Hassan.
I'm Cadet Rice.
I'm Cadet Markley.
And we're doing the Venus Express!
Yay!
Alright, so the Venus Express was first proposed in 2001. It was ESA's first spacecraft to Venus, and ESA stands for European Space Association. It cost around 85 million euros, which is a lot. It's about 90 million American dollars. They started the construction in 2004 and they launched the spacecraft in 2005. Next slide, please.
The spacecraft. Okay, so the Venus Express dimensions are 1.5 by 1.8 by 1.4 meters. It's practically the twins of the Mars Express, since it's practically like the same model and all, except it was made to be much cooler, like more cooler, I guess. It was made with some spirit instruments from the Rosetta and also the Mars Express too. The body is known as a bus, and it's made of gold aluminum to reflect radioactivity. It has 3 lithium batteries, 2 sets of 4 thrusters. It has solar rays to like create more watts of energy or power. It also has 2 low-gain antennas and 2 high-gain dishes to bring information back and forth. Next slide, please.
Okay, so the people that made it all happen. So, as I said before, it was proposed in 2001. But it was proposed by 3 people. Guy de Tauve, he's from Germany, E. Lelouch from France, and F. Taylor from the United Kingdoms. The main contractor led 25 subcontractors from 14 different European countries. It was an unmanned spacecraft, so the people who were controlling the spacecraft was the flight control team, and the operations manager was Adria Akamazu, yes, and he was in charge of 13 engineers and some space controllers and analysis. They were stationed in Darmstadt, Germany. Next slide, please.
Okay, so the engineers who helped build the Venus Express. There was Barbash, who helped come up with the neutral and ionized plasma analysis. There was Zhang, who helped with the magnetic field measurements. And there was also other people, such as from Manzo, Bertox, Hosler, Drossard, Akani, and Markowitz. And this picture right here is of Markowitz.
So why did they build the Venus Express? So all they knew about Venus was that it was similar to Earth in size and mass. That's why it was called Earth's twin planet. But that's about all they knew about it. So they built the Venus Express to fly to Venus to learn more about the atmosphere and the weather conditions and the magnetic fields and how the Venetian atmosphere works. So the ESA built it to learn more about Venus, basically. Next slide, please.
Okay, the main objectives of the Venus Express was to obtain images and mappings of Venus to help us further understand how Venus is related to Earth and what it's similar in and what it's different in. And ESA were able to use the instruments to find a lot more about Venus and how, like I said, the I can't say the word.
Similar.
Thank you. And differences between Earth and Venus.
What did it lead to? Okay, so the mission led to actually like a plethora of like new discoveries. See, it led to new info about the uninhabitable planet Venus and its atmosphere. It also gained some new information about the climate on Venus and how it could potentially like snow or like freeze over with like ice caps, over like Venus. See, the planet is actually known as Earth's twin, but to be honest, the climate is a lot more different than Earth's is. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, so the Venus Express Life Journey. So it was first proposed in November 2001. It was then launched on November 9th, 2005. It arrived at Venus on April 11th, 2006, and it reached its oasis orbit on May 7th, 2006. The Venus Express was extended 5 times in its whole lifetime, and the first time was on February 4th, 2007 to December 30th. And the second time, February 28th to 2008 to May 2009. Third time, October 7th, 2009 to December 31st, 2010. Fourth time, November 22nd, 2012 to 2013. And the final time was June 30th, 2014 to 2015. It lasted 8 years to be exact. Next slide, please.
Alright, so on November 28th, 2014, we lost contact with the Venus Express. But luckily on December 3rd of 2014, we regained that contact. But the signal was really patchy, and it was really hard to understand. And we didn't have any control over the Venus Express because of an exhausted propeller. And on December 16th, 2014, the mission was officially announced over. We still had contact with it, but it wasn't sending any more new information because the mission had ended. On January 18th, 2015,
Excuse me, sorry about that.
on January 18th, 2015, we lost the signal, so that was when it was last detected, and we suspect that it crash landed onto Venus. Next slide, please.
The travel route. Okay, so the Venus Express was of course made to travel to Venus, as in the name. So it went from Earth to Venus. See, it took 153 Earth days to travel to Venus, which is 2 Venetian days. So yeah, it then started orbit around Venus to get images, and more info about Venus. The final, what is known as the final orbit, was officially achieved May 9, 2006. On September 3rd, 2007, it had been on Venus for 500 days. Images and info from the Venus Express. So, the Venus Express used to be known as a VMC to take pictures. It was from the Rosetta and the Mars Express, recycled parts of it. It was used for for images and ultraviolet images, and yeah. The Aspar 4 was also used for ionized plasma analysis, which they also got from the Mars Express, and they also used the Virtus to map the surface of Venus. And here is what the Virtus would actually look like. You can see here different imaging, and what you can probably see is craters or mountains, and it's pretty cool. Next slide, please. Okay, so instruments to learn more about Venus's atmosphere. So the AMG was another instrument that was used on the Venus Express. It took magnetic field measurements of Venus, and it was also recycled from the Rosetta lander. The PFS is another one that they use is to get readings of the atmospheric vertical sounding by the infrared Fourier spectroscopy. The Rosetta spacecraft also gave this to the Venus Express. A lot of the parts were recycled from different spacecrafts. The VERA, or VERA, main objective was to get radio soundings of the atmosphere. It was, of course, also recycled from Rosetta. And all of these instruments were very important to find out more about, the atmosphere of Venus.
Was the mission successful, and how could it have been more successful? The mission was successful, although what could have made it even better in a rate of success, I guess you could say, was having it have better technology, better instruments for taking pictures, like we do nowadays, where we have better high-definition pictures of outer space. And so we think that would have helped it be better of a mission was technology such as what's it called? Like better imaging and better data to help pinpoint exactly where they were supposed to go to get to Venus, without it taking, I guess as long as it did to get there. Next slide. Hardest part of the mission was pretty much it was getting there, because although Venus it's the closest planet to Earth, it was still difficult for the ones who were not leading the mission, but the ones who were controlling the Venus Express to keep it on track and keep it on its way to Venus, because every once in a while it would stray from its path, and they would have to send more data back to it, so it would go back to its path, so it wouldn't get anywhere near like either meteorite, asteroids, or anything to harm the Venus Express, and so it could help get it to Venus. Mission past, present, and future. It was first proposed in 2001 to use almost the same exact design as the Mars Express. Although it was to use the same design, there were some differences in I think size and what technology was used on the Mars Express compared to the Venus Express. Like Stephanie had stated earlier, the Venus Express was designed to be colder because the climate around Venus is much different than the climate around Mars, so it had to have different ways of keeping cool without burning up and failing, pretty much.
Okay, so the climate of Venus. So Venus has sulfuric acid clouds, and its temperature can get to 800 Fahrenheit, and it has a crushing atmosphere. And the atmosphere actually has 90 times more pressure than Earth's. But at night, the temperatures can go down to freezing temperatures. It can actually get down to negative 75 degrees Celsius. In that case, you can actually spot the ice caps and the snow on the surface of Venus. 97.5% of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide, which makes it uninhabitable to any life. Okay, so what we discovered about Venus. We discovered there's a shape-shifting polar vortices, and it has recent volcanic activity. Also that the spinning of Venus is slowing down while the super rotation of it is actually speeding up. It's going slowly, but it still does such things. It also has snow on Venus, and there's an ozone layer, as well as it has water loss, and there's some sort of magnetic field thanks to the magnosphere, which is, like I said, a magnetic field that is caused by the planet's reaction to like solar winds and the planet's ionosphere. Next slide, please.
Facts about the Venus Express. The mission ended in 2014. It took 33 months to build compared to the Mars Express, which took 48 months to build. It was ESA's first spacecraft to ever visit Venus. It used 7 different instruments to collect data and also get it to Venus. And also, it was the key to a better understanding of the atmospheric dynamics of Venus. Next slide, please.
So there's some more fun facts about Venus Express, such as it was launched by the Soyuz Prescott rocket. It was, when it's close to Venus, its altitude can get to 250 kilometers, whereas when it's further away from Venus, it can get up to 66,000 kilometers. And the mapping mission was due to last 2 Venetian days, which is actually equal to 500 days, Earth days.
Alright, so a summary of what we just told you. Okay. So it was proposed in 2001, as stated, by 3 people. It was launched in 2005, and the mission ended in 2014. It cost around 85 million euros, which is 90 million American dollars. and gladly it was a success, so the money didn't go to waste. This mission was a very crucial mission, so we could learn more about Venus, and thanks to this mission, we learned about our solar system as well. We haven't had contact with Venus since 2015, and with new technology, there are rumors about Venus Express 2, which is just rumors. No one knows if it's true or not, but luckily it is. The mission lasted 8 years, and it took about 153 days to get to Venus altogether. Yeah, this is the Venus Express mission. Next slide, please. Questions! Yay! Okay. Was the Venus Express successful? Yeah. Yes. It was. Good job. Here's some candy.
Good job.
Alright. You can put it down. Okay. How long did the mission last?
8 years.
Good job.
Underhand throws, Hannah, underhand throws.
Why was the Venus Express made of gold aluminum? Yeah?
To reflect radioactivity.